Hello, welcome back to the IO Sportscast. With me as always, I've got Ollie. Say hello.
Hi guys.
And today we're doing a general news update for May. We did one of these in April. We covered the cricket, the start of the IPL, um, some of the football, the Champions League semi-final predictions and things like that. Um, I think we should start on football, basically just to get the bad news out of the way for you, Ollie. And that is Man City are officially champions of England once again. Come on,
Yeah,
how are you feeling, man?
I'm not happy about it, obviously, because I want United to win it every year. But they were just the best team this year. I,
Uh,
I reckon that there's probably still won if Liverpool would have had a fully fit squad and not all their injuries. I reckon City would have still have won it because their squad's ridiculous. I wish we had some of the players that they have, or we had that squad depth, and then we'd probably end up winning the league. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
yeah, they've absolutely been the best team so far this season. I think, I mean, like you say, even with the full Liverpool squad, like Liverpool are 22 points behind with 2 games to play. Like
Yeah.
that's a big gulf, even for a few injured players. But I mean, it's really incredible what they've done, given they haven't got a proper, like, out and out striker. You know, with Aguero's injuries and things like that,
Yeah, and Jesus
they've
up
done
front as
really
well.
well.
Yeah, they have.
It's not all doom and gloom for you guys. You've secured a top four finish, so you're in the Champions League next season, which is
Yeah,
kind of
that's good.
a nice return. It feels like you've been a second tier Europe team for the last few years.
It'll be a second season in a row on the Solskjaer got to Champions League.
Yeah, I mean that's like
Let's hope we make it
back
past
to
the group
stability.
stages. Let's hope we make it past the further than we did last time.
Yeah, I mean I'm sure you'll do a little bit better. I mean you got to one of the finals, haven't you? With Solskjaer, you've broken the
The
curse.
semi-final curse, yeah.
um,
Finally, about time.
the other teams just behind you, Leicester, Chelsea, Liverpool. Uh, I mean Spurs and West Ham are only a couple of points behind Liverpool. They're all fighting for the rest of those positions in Europe. Um,
Who do you think's gonna get the top? Who do you think will get the last two places?
I mean, Leicester look pretty set to get one of the Champions League spots. They've got a 5 point gap to Liverpool in fifth,
2 games
but
left, 2 or 3 games left.
with 2 games left. But you know, it's just one of those things that you can still see Leicester capitulating, even though they only need like a point or two to confirm it.
Yeah,
But I think they'll make it. Chelsea, I'm not too sure about. A couple of weak cracks that have started to appear in the last couple of games. I think that's just inevitable after like an incredible. Was it like 14 games they went unbeaten?
yeah, I think it was.
Like
Yeah,
yeah, so they've had a fantastic run, sort of to recover their season. I think really it's probably going to be between Chelsea and Liverpool for fourth place. Even though Spurs and West Ham are only a couple of points behind, I think West Ham have paced their season now. I think they're done.
you reckon they'll get Europa League?
Well, so I'm trying to work out now very quickly in my head because Man City won the league and Leicester have won the FA Cup. Um, like I think it's the top seven will qualify for Europe.
Who will
So
go into the Europa League automatically?
um,
Fifth does, don't it?
fifth's normally a Europa League spot anyway. Yeah,
What about the
um,
Conference League?
I think that's sixth. I think that the plan was originally that Man City won the League Cup, so that was the League Cup was going to go into the Conference League. So currently Spurs would get that. With the FA Cup win with Leicester though, I don't know if that now gets pushed down to seventh. We'll find out, I guess, at the end of the season.
Yeah, we will.
So it could well be that the top seven are pretty much guaranteed that they've got European spots. Having said that, Everton in eighth have got a game in hand over West Ham, and if they win it, they'll pull level on points with West Ham and Spurs. So it's not
Ooh.
all quite sorted out yet. I would be very surprised if Everton do that though. Um, it feels
Yeah,
very much like there's been the top
they seem to
seven.
plateau, haven't they, Everton?
Yeah, it has felt like the top seven have been the top seven, and then Everton in eighth fairly safe in 8th, and then 9th, 10th, 11th. So Arsenal, Leeds, and Villa have been fighting for the last couple of spots in the top half. And thank you, Crystal Palace, for earlier today with a 3-2 win over Villa. Because that means Palace beat Villa, which means that we now at Leeds have a 4-point gap to Villa with 2 games left, and we play Southampton and West Brom as our last 2 games. So we should win.
They're pretty easy games then.
Southampton might put up a challenge. We should annihilate West Brom. Like, that should be a nice done.
Are you at home both of them or away, or we're home or away?
Let me just check for the Southampton match. We're away at Southampton, and we're home against West Brom. Having said that, we are currently recording just as West Brom Liverpool has kicked off. They're 15 minutes in, and West Brom are beating Liverpool as it stands.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What's the score?
1-0. Robson Kanu, 15 minutes in, scores in his first start. I mean,
that's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, yesterday we had the FA Cup final, Leicester against Chelsea. Chelsea were runners-up last season as well, I believe, and it felt like they were going out for revenge. And with the new manager and the way that he's set up, like, apart from that blip against Arsenal, they looked like they were the team to beat, and it was sort of Leicester, the underdogs, first time in an FA Cup final in like 50 years.
Yeah.
They were the ones coming into this with sort of all the pressure on the back, but at the same time, no pressure on the back because they're such underdogs.
I didn't think Chelsea, Leicester were going to win it. I thought Chelsea would win it.
I thought Chelsea were going to win
under
it.
Tuchel.
I did think Chelsea were going to win it. I thought it would be a tight match, and it was. But I expected Chelsea to come out on top. And honestly, I wanted Leicester to win. I really did, because I'm not a Chelsea fan at all. I wanted Leicester to win. I didn't think they would. But I tuned in for like the best bits, for like 15 minutes of back and forth intense football, then back in for the goal, and then back in like 5 minutes before the end. So I saw the VAR decision at the end as well. First off, what a goal. Like, the FA Cup just seems to produce some absolute worldies in the final. I don't know what it is, but suddenly you get the ball sort of 30 yards out and you're like, right, take a touch and then bang it into the top corner. That seems to be the FA Cup final way.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a screamer or
I mean,
a long range goal.
I'm thinking back. The first FA Cup final that I watched, like, fully start to finish, was West Ham Liverpool when it was 3-3 at full time, and Gerrard's like very late strike into the bottom corner. He pulled up with cramp like 2 minutes before, and then pulls an absolute worldie out.
Yeah,
bangs into
mad
memories.
Do you think? Obviously, I saw it was Tielemans that scored on it.
Yeah,
from about 25-30 yards out. And obviously Kepa was in goal. If you were Chelsea, if you were Tuchel, would you have put Mendy in goal?
If I was in charge of Chelsea, Kepa would have been sold at the end of last season for that match that he refused to come off. He's gone at that point. He's undermined the manager. If he's not listened to my results, he's gone. So he wouldn't even be in Chelsea from the last the last manager.
The people were saying that if Mendy had been in goal, it'd probably saved that. But it's just for them, innit? It was so far in the top corner, then I don't think any keeper's saving that.
I think unless like you're positioned for it to go in that corner, you're not stopping that. And the way that he was looking, like with the defender, it was looking much more like he'd go to the other corner and curl it in, like an in swinging. So
I thought
I don't think anyone's stopping that.
You're right. A good strike, to be fair, as well.
It's a brilliant little strike. But then I don't know if you saw this, but a couple of minutes before the final whistle, Chelsea thought they'd scored, and heartbreak for Leicester fans. It was Ben Chilwell, ex-Leicester player, getting on the back post, and a little bit of antics actually. Didn't go in first time, got a block, came off another player, came back onto Chilwell and in the back of the net. Chilwell runs off to the corner and then the call for the VAR comes up, and my word, that is probably the closest VAR call I've seen probably since Bamford's finger got him offside.
Yeah,
like
I didn't see it. I know it was disallowed, but I didn't see how close it was.
I think from the commentators I remember them saying 3-0.
Jesus,
And
that is
they were immediately like, you can't tell that in full in real time, even in slow-mo replays. From the human eye, you can't tell that it's offside.
Yeah.
It seems a little bit of a strange one. I think they were a little bit hard done by. But again, I didn't want Chelsea to win, so
Yeah,
I'll
neither
take
did
it.
Neither did I.
And the fairy tale stories come back to Leicester.
Yeah, exactly. And it just shows you, doesn't it, what they've achieved in 5-6 years since they won the league.
Yeah, they've cemented themselves as a top team.
A top 4 team now, or a top 6. This would be part of the. Get rid of Tottenham from the top 6 and add Leicester. And then you've got your new top 6. Obviously, they've regularly up in the top 4. As last year they finished in the top 4. This year they'll probably finish in the top 4.
Yeah, I mean almost certainly.
Yeah,
I mean they're guaranteed
guaranteed
top 5. Even if they don't finish in top 4, they're guaranteed 5th at the very worst on goal difference.
Yeah, and they've won the FA Cup, so they're in the Champions League. Well, they're in Europe.
You're in Europe, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what he's done, Brendan Rodgers, but he's done well with that squad, hasn't he?
I feel like that's always been the case with Brendan Rodgers. If you go back and look at his teams, he just seems to get the most out of them. You look back when he was at Liverpool, it was a decent squad, but it wasn't the best squad. And they were up fighting at the top. Celtic, I mean, when he joined, they were in a little bit of a shambles, and it wasn't a major crisis. It was Celtic. I mean, they were still dominant, but he took that to another level. And now he's gone to Leicester and really has rejuvenated a team. They won the Premier League on a little bit of a shock. I mean, actually, if you look at the squad, it was still a fairly strong squad. Look at where half that team is now.
Yeah.
But then they had a couple of years not quite knowing what they were doing. And now they've been cemented as one of the top 4 teams. They're a big team now. It's a fair play to Brendan Rodgers. He's really done quite well.
Yeah, he has. And obviously their owner, I don't know what his name is, but obviously they did that for his dad, who obviously died in that helicopter crash. But obviously he went down to the pitch at full time, and all that kind of stuff. And he's a proper owner, that guy. I don't know his name, but yeah, they seem to do well, done well at that club as well.
Yeah, it was quite a little poignant and somber moment when the final whistle went and the camera panned to a big banner of the former owner.
Vichai. I'm not saying his last name because it's yeah. We'll be here all day.
We'll butcher it. We'll definitely butcher it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, they were playing with not just 12 men because of the fans. They had 13, 14 men in spirit. Absolutely.
They were saying, I think the Vichai's son, the owner, he was saying that his dad was joking that his dad was made the VAR decision for them. So they helped them with the VAR call.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's mad, isn't it? Because before they won the league, they were fighting to stay up.
Yeah.
They were fighting to stay up in the league, but now they're at the right end of the league, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, almost like West Ham this season. That was a real struggle last year for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're almost definitely in Europe next season in some form.
Yeah.
Jumping back to the Premier League, at the other end, the race is over.
There's not to play for now.
There are 2 ends to the league, and if you're not interested in what's going on at the top, you normally look to the bottom for a bit of drama, and that's sealed and done with 4 games to play. I don't remember exactly.
I don't like it when it's like that. I want a last day relegation dogfight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like the Formula One. You want the title fight to go to the end of the season, just like you want the drama of the relegate. Like, there's something about final days of the season, sitting down. You got a final score on one screen, you got your team on the other screen, and you're like trying to, work out all the permutations of the drama.
They all kick off at the same time as well, don't they?
Yeah.
So you're like,
and if you're
keeping an eye on what scores, and you're like,
if you're a fan in the stadium and you see the little ticker going round and you're waiting for the other match that, if they lose, you're staying up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's final day is great, but it's been robbed from the Premier League. I don't remember exactly when we recorded the last episode of this and where exactly Sheffield were in the relegation battle, but they were the first to go.
They weren't relegated.
They weren't. Okay. Well, they are now.
Yeah, they were the first ones.
Yeah, they're bottom of the table, regardless. If results stay as they are.
Could they finish 19th?
They can if West Brom lose to Liverpool today and then lose their last two matches, and Sheffield get 3 wins of their remaining matches and a 9-goal swing overall. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it's pretty possible.
I mean, it's doable, but it's going to be difficult. If the result stands as it is now, and West Brom beat Liverpool, Sheffield are 20th regardless, and West Brom jump Fulham into 18th. Really, they're just playing for little scraps of prize money now.
Yeah, they just play for who gets more.
Yeah.
Who gets the rest of the relegation money?
Because all 3 are down. I'm a little bit upset that West Brom are down. They're one of my Football Manager teams. They're one of the teams I've got a soft spot for.
It's bad when 2 of the 3 promoted teams go down. I don't like seeing it happen. I want like another team that's been up there for a few years, that's been in the league for a few years, to go down.
Yeah, well, there was a little bit of a moment where you're like, "Oh, will Brighton go down?" They came up as a stat for a pub quiz question that I looked at, that they're the only non-founding Premier League team to never be relegated, and so since they came up from the Championship, they've never gone down.
And they've never been relegated.
Never been relegated. And the only other teams that have never been relegated were all in the very first season. So
yeah.
They were founders.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it looked like this year they were in for a fight, but they've picked up the points. Actually, Newcastle and Brighton have had a phenomenal few weeks, picking up quite important points. Unfortunately, some of Brighton's came against Leeds, which a little bit annoyed about. They did the double, but it is what it is. But yeah, they're staying up again. I mean, what can you say really? Like, the bottom 3 teams have been the worst 3 teams of the season. You would have just hoped that one of them got a little bit of a run and looked like they stood a chance. Because for a little while, it did look like it was Brighton versus Fulham going down.
I wanted Brighton to go down. I don't like Brighton. Or Newcastle.
I mean, Brighton seem to be I just forget that they're in the league. They're just they're in that sort of bracket. Yeah. Well, let's jump around the rest of the leagues very quickly in Europe. I said the rest of the leagues. Some of the big leagues.
Top 5 leagues.
La Liga. It's still a little bit all to play for.
Who's top? Is it Atletico?
So Atletico Madrid at the top with 80 points. Real second with 76. Barcelona third with... Sorry, but Real Madrid have 78. Barcelona third with 76. Sevilla fourth with 74. So they're the top 4.
How many games left?
2 games left. They're guaranteed top 4. It's just the order that matters. So, I mean, Sevilla can only win it on goal difference, so it's unlikely they're going to do it. 4 points behind with Barcelona, it's unlikely they're going to do it. It looks like it's a shootout between the 2 Madrid teams. And
what's the 2 points between them?
2 points between 80, 78, 76, 74.
Ooh, 2 points with 2 games left.
Yeah. I'm going to give the edge to Atletico. I think they just had the edge all season.
Yeah, I want Atletico. I want a different winner. I just want Atletico to win it.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It would be nice. Behind them, Real Sociedad, Real Betis, and Villarreal are all fighting for 5th place. There's 1 point between the 3 of them, with 2 to play, so that's a nice, tasty little battle. But jumping down to the bottom of the league, this is what you want to see. With 2 games left to play, anybody in the bottom 6 could theoretically go down.
Really?
So Alaves are in 15th with 35 points, and Eibar are bottom with 30 points. So it's very tight at the bottom. I mean, you would...
How many go down in La Liga?
3 go down.
3 up, 3 down.
I mean, it could well be that is a final day thing. I feel like at the end of the next round, a couple of teams will drop down because of there is still like 5 points is still quite a big gap. But yeah, that's actually a little bit of drama there, which is quite nice.
Yeah, it is.
Germany.
Das Bundesliga.
Das Bundesliga. Bayern Munich, champions once again. Everyone knows the story.
Lewandowski matched Gerd Muller's record for 40 goals in a single season.
I mean,
that's an insane stat.
He's just an absolute beast, isn't he? I'd really love him.
This year and last season, he's been unbelievable. Being the best player in the world. Yeah,
I'd love him to come to the Premier League and just to see what he'd do. Because if he puts in, I mean, he's in a very dominant team. So even if he joins like Man City, if he puts in 25-30, then yeah, fair enough. Like point proven. He's not going to score 40 in a season over here.
No. But the record's 32, isn't it?
Yeah, if he puts 25-30 in, like...
Especially if he goes to a team like City where you've got like De Bruyne and Foden behind him.
He's got a great chance of doing that. If he goes to someone like Chelsea and does that, like, that's it. The greatest season of all time, I think, for a striker.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. I would like to see him in the Premier League, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
I think he's
set in
going to retire at Bayern.
So yeah, Bayern champions. Well done to Bayern. Behind them, Leipzig, Wolfsburg, Dortmund. They're all fighting. They've got 2 games left each. Bayern have 1 game left. Having said that, I've just said that Dortmund have just kicked off. It's just updated.
And they won the DFB, whatever it's called.
The DFB Cup. Yeah.
Didn't they?
The German Cup.
Yeah.
2 apiece, yeah.
And 2 for Sancho.
Yeah. They've definitely got youth on their side, and if they can keep hold of them in the coming years, they're going to be a real threat again. Down at the bottom end, apart from Schalke having, I think, the worst season of any in the top, in like the big 5 teams, big 5 leagues, I think Schalke have definitely had the worst season. They've got 1 game left, and they're at 16 points with a negative 60 goal difference.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Played 33.
Negative 60?
Negative 60. They've played 33, they've lost 23.
How many have they scored?
I don't know off the top of my head because I'm looking on my phone, so it's got a shrunk table. Okay. Not a lot by the looks.
Negative 60 goals. Jesus, what?
So how it works in Germany is 2 teams definitely go down, and then the 3rd worst team goes into a playoff.
Who do they go into a playoff with?
With 3rd place in the 2nd division.
All right, so whoever wins
that playoff tie
goes up or
stays up or goes up.
Yeah. Okay.
So at the minute, this is an unbelievable. If you'd have told me this at the start of the season, I'd been a little bit shocked because these are 3 big names in German. I say big names for me in German football. Schalke going down.
Yeah.
Köln at 17th.
FC Köln.
They just listed as Köln here. I assume so.
Yeah.
They're on 30 points, and then 16th in the playoff spot, Werder Bremen with 31.
Oh, so Werder Bremen could still go down automatically?
Yeah, there's 1 game left to play at the bottom, and Köln, Werder Bremen, and Arminia Bielefeld. There we go. If I could read it. Arminia Bielefeld are on 32 points. They could all 3 are fighting for that last spot of safety.
Jesus.
One of those is guaranteed safety. The other 2 will either be relegated or in the playoff.
Do we know who's coming up from Bundesliga too?
Ooh, Bundesliga 2. Not on the BBC now.
Right.
Let's jump to Serie A.
Inter have won that.
Their first title in 11 years, is it?
They
Something
broke
like
a
that.
10-year of Juventus winning it. 10 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean...
And Juventus might not even get into Champions League next season.
Yeah, so... well, at the minute, yeah, Inter Milan, this is with a game or two to play, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
Inter just run away. I mean, they're 10 points clear. Well done, Inter. They've had a fantastic season. Second place, I remember we went through the leagues last time. Atalanta have held second spot.
Oh, go on, Atalanta.
It's close. They could still lose it.
Ooh, to AC.
To Napoli, AC, or Juventus. So Napoli third, AC fourth, Juventus fifth. Napoli are on 76 points, so 2 points behind. AC and Juventus are on 75 points. Juventus and Napoli only have the one game, but AC have 2 games left to play. So anything could happen. Now, fortunately, Atalanta's goal difference is much better than AC's.
So Atalanta have secured second, definitely.
No.
Alright, okay.
Atalanta, if the matches are right, I don't know the fixtures, if the matches are right, could still finish 5th outside the Champions League spots.
No way.
That is, if the fixtures work, that's mathematically possible, yeah.
Jesus. It's mad, innit? Ronaldo could be played on a Thursday night.
I mean,
instead
depending
of a
on what
Wednesday
goes
night.
on, Juventus might not be playing anything next season.
Yeah, exactly.
There's been threats that they're going to be expelled from Serie A if they don't officially pull out of what is left of the European Super League.
Super League, yeah.
I mean,
I reckon if they pull out and that they don't get into Champions League, I reckon quite a few of their players will go for Champions League football. I reckon Ronaldo will leave.
Well, I'm not sure what happens if they do get expelled. They'll have to re-enter lower down the leagues, and given that it's an FA expulsion, they'll probably have to join in either at the bottom of what is effective. If it was,
Serie
for
C.
example, I don't know, yeah, Serie C2 probably, or even Serie D. I don't know. If it was, let's take Man United for example, an FA expulsion is down to the National League. You might get let into League 2 on appeal, but that's you out of the league system. To the National League is the highest league you could apply for. Then
would you still be if you won that? Would you still go up?
That depends, doesn't it? You might not.
Okay.
But also, I don't know what the rules are of the Champions League or domestic continental competitions in general, because we don't know where Juventus are going to finish. Do you need to be part of your league system in order to be part of a continental cup competition?
Oh, so you mean like Europa
Like, it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter what
Champions
league you're
League.
in, because you've had teams that are in the Championship win the League Cup and then get relegated into League One. So, you could have League One or League Two teams in European competition, but they're still league teams, whereas National League is non-league. Could, if I don't know, Hartlepool, are they
they're
non-league?
National League.
Yeah.
They're non-league.
If they go on a
win the
massive
FA
run and win the FA Cup, can they get into Europe?
Would they be able to play in in Europe? That's the
I don't know what the
question.
rules are. Football Manager says you can, because I've done it. But
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it?
I mean, it's Football
I know
Manager.
some of it's based on real life.
Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Anyway, back to Serie A. If Juventus play next season, then great. If they don't, they might be barring out with 5th spot. Who knows?
I reckon if they pull out of the Europa League and they don't get into the Champions League, I reckon a few players are going to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting a mass exodus if they don't get into the Champions League anyway.
Yeah, because you want players like Ronaldo in the Champions League.
Yeah,
Dybala in the Champions League.
they've underperformed with the squad that they've got for sure.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Speaking of underperforming, down at the bottom end of the table, 3 teams go down from Serie A. 2 of them have already been decided. Parma down at the very bottom, 21 points. A little bit like I feel like they should be a solid Serie A team. And I'm going to mispronounce this, but I would call it Crotone. It's probably Crotone or something like that.
I've never heard of them.
I haven't either, which is why I'm having trouble pronouncing the name. They're on 22 points, not much better.
Who else could go down?
Well, those 2 are guaranteed down. They're 13 and 14 points shy with a game to play. The real fight here, 18th place is Benevento on 32 points. 17th place is Torino with 35 points. Now, Torino have a game in hand, but if they lost that game in hand, it would be a one-match shootout. Benevento would need to win and turn over what would then be a 16 goal swing.
Oh, wow, so they need to score 16 goals.
But yeah, well, 15, because Torino would have to lose both their remaining games. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, but it is technically possible. I'm fighting for you, Benevento. Let's jump over to France. 2 games left in France, and quite a lot still to play for.
Is it Lille? Are they still top?
Lille are still top.
Come on, Lille.
Yes, they got a 3-point buffer to PSG.
With 2 games left?
Come on, Lille. It must be noted PSG have a massive goal difference advantage. So if it was level points, PSG going to do it. Yeah, so Lille need 4 points from the last 2 games to guarantee it as things stand.
Oh, do they play each other?
Ooh, good question. Scores and fixtures. Today at 8 o'clock, so just after we're going to finish recording this, Lille and PSG both play not against each other in the final round. No, they don't. They don't play each other.
I wanted them to play each other on the final day to decide the title.
I mean, that would have been epic.
And whoever wins the league.
Yeah.
Come on, Lille.
It does. So technically,
football fans out there.
As things stand, I'm having trouble reading this table at the minute. So I think the top 3 are guaranteed Champions League football.
Yeah.
Lille, if results go the wrong way, could finish 4th outside the guaranteed top spots.
Who's 3rd?
Monaco are 3rd. Lyon are 4th at the minute. Lyon are 6 points behind Lille with 2 games left, so it is still possible.
Oh, so anybody could still win. So...
Anyone could win. Anyone could drop out of guaranteed Champions League.
Oh, that's close. This is what we like to see.
Yeah, but then also
title fights like this.
So the top 4 are in a fight, but then 5th, 6th, and 7th, and technically 8th Montpellier as well, are in a battle for 5th place. You got Marseille in 5th, Lens in 6th, Rennes in 7th, 56, 56, 55. With 2 to play. Montpellier are technically still in there. They've got 50 points, so they could technically finish 5th if the results are there.
Jesus, that's why can't Premier League be like that?
I'm not finished.
Oh God!
In the relegation zone, if results are going the correct way, I'm not checking the fixtures.
There's been no confirmed relegations in.
There has been 1 confirmed relegation of Dijon, 18 points. They're down.
Alright, okay. How many go down? 3 or 2?
3 go down. But anybody from the following teams, if the results play out, could go down. Brest, Bordeaux, Strasbourg, Lorient, Nantes, and Nimes all could go down still.
That's 6 teams.
That's 6 teams. Nimes at the minute, probably mispronouncing that with the accent. Then 19th on 35 points, and Brest are 14th with 40 points. Like,
Jesus.
Oh, that's the battle we want to see.
Wow.
Yeah. I've only one feelings towards any of those teams, and that's Strasbourg, because again, football manager, I would like to see them stay up. The playoffs are happening. Grenoble and Paris FC. Based on the way I'm reading these fixtures, I haven't got a tree in front of me. I've just got the fixtures. It looks like the winner of Grenoble and Paris FC, who play on Tuesday, will play Toulouse on Friday for one of the spots to come up.
Toulouse?
Yeah.
I just in Ligue 2.
Yeah.
Who's top of that league?
I've no idea.
All right, okay.
There are a couple of other leagues.
There could be a Paris derby next year if Paris FC
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, there could be. There is a couple of other leagues that I want to just touch on. I think that's the top 5 covered. I don't think I've forgotten anyone.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I want to jump up to our pals at the top of our border of Scotland.
Scotland.
I want to say well done to Rangers. They're not my Scottish team, but of the two Glasgow's, Rangers are my old firm team. Undefeated season, 32 wins, 6 draws.
Well, I mean, it's not hard. It's Scotland, isn't it? It's like League 1 Championship.
But an undefeated season in any league is difficult to do.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, like.
But yeah, you're right. It's a two-horse.
Scotland and Scotland, Rangers and Celtic.
It is a two-horse battle, definitely. But Rangers have had the upper hand. Steven Gerrard's got his first title. I was going to say, as a manager,
league title.
I think that's his first league title as a player as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Demba Ba put stops to the last one.
Good.
I mean, unbelievable season. 102 points, plus 79 goal difference. I mean, it really was. It was their season to throw away. They absolutely
James Tavernier there right back at a right season as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's got like 15 goals and got like 18
been
assists.
So much stupid, yeah.
Something like that for a right back. That's insane numbers.
They've broken quite a few records. They've matched quite a few records.
What records have they broken? Do you know?
The big one off the top of my head is the fewest clean sheets. They've only had the fewest goals conceded. They've got 13 goals.
Is that all they conceded?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Celtic had the record before with 14, and I think that was quite a long time ago. They got that. They've got the most Scottish titles now, 55.
55, yeah.
Extended their
record. That's the most in Britain.
Yeah.
Probably, I think isn't it one of the top in Europe as well?
It's probably one of the top in the world, to be fair.
Yeah, 55 league titles.
Yes, that's ridiculous.
Top flight titles.
Celtic in second. Yeah, as you say, it's a two-horse race. If you're not finishing first, you're definitely finishing second. Aberdeen and Hibs. Hibs and then Aberdeen, third and fourth. They're the classic third, fourth teams, really. The real battles were, I mean, the mid-table. So, for those of you who don't know, Scottish football, there's 12 teams in the top league. They play each other 3 times for 33 games, and then the table splits in half. And then the top half play each other once again, the bottom half play each other once, and then they've had the 38 games like in England.
Oh, so that's how it works. I never knew how it worked.
And also, if you're in the top half, regardless of your results, you can't drop lower than 6th. And if you're in the bottom half, regardless of your results, you can't then finish in the top. Yeah. So even if 7th place, who are St Mirren, had like 50 points, Livingston in 6th would have stayed 6th, even though they've only got 45. But the table as follows in the middle: St Johnstone in 5th, Livingston in 6th. They played each other in the final game this weekend, and I'm gutted that it finishes as it did. I'm a Livingston fan; they're my team in Scotland. I would have liked them just to nick 1 goal and finish 5th, but hey ho, they're in the top half. I'll take that. They're both on 45 points, and then you've got St Mirren in 7th, Motherwell in 8th, both on 45 points as well. And if the split didn't happen, St Mirren would have finished 5th on goal difference.
Ooh.
But they're 7th because they're in the bottom half. Motherwell 8th, 45 points. Dundee 9th on 44 points. So like that is Very
Dundee
tight.
United or Dundee FC?
Dundee United, yeah. Dundee are in the Championship.
Okay.
And then down at the bottom, it was technically a battle in the final round between Ross County, Kilmarnock and Hamilton. Hamilton went in knowing that even if they annihilated, they'd still only get a potential playoff spot. In the end, that wasn't the case, and things stayed as they are.
Doing well for a one-man team, isn't he, Hamilton?
Yeah,
In Formula 1 and in football as well.
I
Do you know
mean,
what that man can't do?
I mean, if Hamilton as a team in Formula 1 has something like the 6th most wins in Formula 1 history on his own.
Yeah, exactly.
No, sorry, not wins, poles.
Yeah.
6th most poles on his own. Like, he doesn't need that many more. I think he only needs 8 more, and he overtakes Lotus as an entire team in the history of F1.
Wow, that's...
Anyway, yeah, Kilmarnock will go into the relegation playoff, and Hamilton are down. Hamilton feel like they're an up and down sort of yo-yo team.
Yeah.
So I'm not massively surprised. Kilmarnock, I'm a little bit surprised about. I'd have put Ross County there instead. I'm sure they'll actually win the playoff, but I mean, if they don't, then I'm not massively against that. In the Championship, Hearts are champions. 57 points from their 27 games. So they're up. Hearts are my sort of second Scottish team from Football Manager again. So I'm glad they're coming back up. The playoffs will be between Kilmarnock from the Premiership, Dundee, Raith Rovers and Dunfermline. That's Dundee, not Dundee United.
Yeah.
Just missing out on the playoffs, Inverness Caledonian Thistle. 3 points out, finishing 5th. Ayr have a -6 goal difference. Morton have -11. 5 goals between relegation, playoff, and safety.
Yeah.
Mad.
Jeez.
The other leagues that I want to just jump quickly over.
Portugal?
No.
Oh,
Turkey.
not gonna mention... Oh, okay.
For probably the closest title fight
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
1 goal.
Besiktas with a plus 45 goal difference. Galatasaray plus 44.
And then Fenerbahce plus 43, I think, wasn't it? Not 42?
Fenerbahce plus 31, but they're on 82 points. So they could still have won it in the final game, but they're further back. But, yeah, I mean, identical records. Played 40, won 26, drawn 6, lost 8. And 1 goal in goal difference. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that. I can't see anything massive out of the ordinary behind them. My knowledge of the Turkish league is not massive. I could probably name the top 4, and maybe an Istanbul. Yeah. Looking at the relegation fight as well. Actually, that was pretty close. I'm gonna butcher all of these team names. So in 20th out of 21 teams, in 20th is Glenka Beligi.
Yeah. Definitely
Butchered that. They're on 38 points. Ankara Guku, 38 points. BP Erzurumspor, 40 points. Those 3 all go down, and then in 17th place with safety is Kayserispor with 41 points.
Wow.
So very, very close. 3 points separating those 4 teams.
That is very, very close indeed.
Oh, it's ridiculously close. That's a league roundup. Update come in. Salah has equalised.
Damn it.
It's now 1-1 West Brom Liverpool. Salah's equalised with his 22nd goal of the season, which is ridiculous.
Always in the lead as well for Golden Boot.
Is he?
Right, yeah. It's him and Kane up front. They were both on 21 coming into today, but obviously now Salah's on 22.
Let me just double check what the Spurs... Kane scored in the Spurs match.
Today?
Yeah.
How many?
Just the one.
Oh, so he's on 22 then?
Yeah, he's got his 22nd, yeah.
Okay. So depending on how many Salah scores. And then third is Bruno Fernandes, midfielder. I'm 18.
The one thing I do want to mention while we're still talking about football, just to wrap football up.
Yep.
Women's. Let's jump over to the women's side. Tonight is the Champions League final. Chelsea versus Barcelona.
Is that on telly?
Maybe.
Alright.
I'm sure it will be. I don't think
Oh,
it's
they're
on...
like BT or something.
Yeah, I don't think the BBC have got it. I think they had the semi-finals though.
Yeah.
Chelsea have had a bit of a revival the last few seasons. The last English team to win the European competition was back when it was the UEFA Cup. Arsenal back in 2007, and the assistant manager then was the Chelsea manager. So got the expertise.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Expertise and experience to win a trophy.
Yeah, and they've definitely been like putting it together as a club. So best of luck to them.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get the English team winning, but it's,
I hope so.
We've struggled in European competition. English women's football has. So it'd be nice to get this one, especially given how well the men are doing with 3 out of 4 finalists in Europe and the other one.
Yep.
Also, while we're quickly on, I guess women's football, but football in general, Football Focus. Dan Walker's been standing down. He's leaving after 12 years, something like that.
Yeah, Alex Scott is.
And Alex Scott is taking over. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for her. I'm well happy for her. I like Alex Scott. She's well good.
She's been a pundit throughout multiple different BBC Sport events for a number of years now. A fantastic player, and always someone in interviews who try to explain it from both sides of the argument. So I think punditry was definitely something she was destined to go into.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well played. I think she'll be fantastic. All the best to her. And thanks Dan Walker for all the time that you've had in charge of Football Focus. Best of luck for everything in the future.
Yep.
I mean, as long as he's not leaving BBC Breakfast, that's I've got to have him on the Monday morning. Right, let's jump over to snooker. World Championships have just happened. Genuinely quite an interesting little World Championship. Fans were allowed back in, and that was, it's weird. Like in a football match, you can definitely sense the crowd were missing just from the sound. Now in a snooker match,
the crowd to be quiet.
Yeah, the crowd's silent, but you still notice the tension wasn't there.
Yeah.
So while it didn't sound different until the final, at least the final was massively different. The round of applause done over the tannoys and the PAs was definitely like more than adequate for a normal snooker match, but the tension wasn't there. Last year at least. This year the fans were back. Full capacity final, which was.
Oh, so it wasn't even like half or a quarter.
So in the rest of the tournament, I think it was quarter capacity, like 300 people, which is, it felt unusual, but not too unusual. But the final was full capacity, and it was.
What's the capacity of the Crucible?
1,100, something like that.
Oh, right, so it's not that big.
It's not that big, but I mean, compared to where we were,
people, it's still a lot of people.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
And absolutely, was destined to be a great final.
Who was in it?
It was Mark Selby versus Sean Murphy. Now, as a snooker fan, that's like one of the best finals you can get. Mark Selby is an unbelievable snooker player. If you need to get into a snooker, Mark Selby's your guy. He's definitely he's ridiculous with how much control he's got over the balls. Sean Murphy is absolute professional. Like, if you want to model yourself on a player on the table, you start with Sean Murphy and then you pick a couple of things from other people. But
add them to it.
Yeah, but Sean Murphy's not had the run lately. at the World Championship. His form's not been there. I think his last final was like 2007 or something like that.
Who won?
So Mark Selby won, got his 4th world title. A little bit gutted because I am a Murphy fan. But the semi-final between Kyron Wilson and Sean Murphy, I think, was the match of the tournament for me. I wanted both of them to win. Like, both of them deserved a title. In Sean's case, another world title, and Kyron's definitely a first world title. I'm sure in the future that will happen. But it's been so back and forth. Most of the matches, you had the first session being dominated by one player, and then the fight back in the second and third sessions, and it's just unbelievable how close the matches were. Yeah.
What was the score in the final?
18-15, I think. Yeah,
Ooh, so pretty close then.
Yeah, pretty close. So yeah, four world titles now for Mark Selby, puts him level with John Higgins. The only people to do more than that are Steve Davis, Ray Reid, and Ronnie O'Sullivan, who've all got 6, and Stephen Hendry with 7. So you're talking.
Stephen Hendry's got 6. I thought Ronnie O'Sullivan had the most.
No, he's got 6. He's got the most Masters and I think most UKs. But yeah, he's lacking behind in the worlds. I mean, I'm sure that might happen. Like, I mean, O'Sullivan is a bit like Lewis Hamilton. Like, he's the only guy to win the world title in 3 different decades. When he turns up, anything can happen on the day.
Yeah. When did O'Sullivan last win it?
A couple of years back.
I knew it was like within the last 5 years he won it.
Did he win it last year? Did he win it? Was it last year?
I think he might have. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was last year, and then Judd Trump before. The year before that was Judd Trump.
All right.
So Mark Selby definitely in contention to be one of the greatest of all time. He got asked about how far would he go, how many titles did he think he could achieve, could he catch Steve Davis, Ray Reid, and O'Sullivan, and he just played it down as like not something he looks at.
They all say that though, but I bet inside they all. I bet they all look at it. They all want to be the best. Don't they?
They do and they don't. Like, you can tell when Lewis Hamilton and Ronnie O'Sullivan again. When you ask those guys about records, they play it down, but in the back of their mind that it's happened. They know full well what's going on. They know
and what they're doing.
They know all the stats in the back of their mind. Now they're actively playing it down. Mark Selby, I think, is just taking it one game at a time and one tournament at a time. He's not had great form the last couple of seasons. And what's scary is he was still doing reasonably well. Like, he was still like one of the top 5 guys in the world, even with a dodgy couple of seasons. And now he's got a new coach. Actually, I think the coach for Mark Selby was also the coach for Sean Murphy. So he was guaranteed to win. So it was an interesting situation, I think, for him to be put in. Chris Henry is the guy I'm thinking of. I genuinely think Mark Selby's not thinking that way, and he will just take it one tournament at a time. I'm a little bit scared for what this does with snooker now, because 2014 to 16, Mark Selby was so dominant, it was unbelievable. Judd won then in 2019, and we're like, this is, Judd Trump's now time to come through. He'd been playing for about 10 years at the top of the game. Like, this is his chance to dominate. It hasn't happened, really. Ronnie came back last year, and Ronnie's always going to be a threat, but I don't think he's at the top. He's just always going to be that threat that lingers.
Yeah. So
we do need someone to come along and dominate, and if Mark Selby's back on form,
he's going to be Mark Selby.
He could well be. I mean, that's a scary proposition. Jump over to cricket very quickly. The IPL's been suspended. Not a massive surprise.
Well, yeah, mate, I'm not surprised with all the COVID in India.
I mean, it has absolutely gone through the roof. I'm surprised it went on as long as it did.
I'm surprised it went on at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I can sort of see them kicking it off, but I definitely thought they should have, if they're going to do it, do a sort of knockout competition, so it was a very short tournament. Because it was pretty obvious they weren't going to get through all of the games, even if the COVID rates had stayed the same, or very very similar. I think it was a bit of a risk, especially when you consider teams being pulled out for summer tests and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's being postponed. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of restarting it or cancelling it or handing a title or anything like that. We will wait.
How many games were played before this?
Most teams had played 7. I think a couple had played 8. Delhi at the top had definitely played 8, but Chennai and Bangalore are just behind them. They've played 7, and the thing is, if Chennai and Bangalore had won that game in hand they've got, they're all tied at the top. And if Delhi had lost that game that they played extra, then they're all tied at the top. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know how they call that. I assume they're just going to put it null and void as a season. That would be the way that I'd do it, because I don't think you can restart really.
Yeah.
County Championship has got underway. I think it got underway at the start of the last episode of General News. Today's set of matches have all just finished. The only result I massively care about is the Yorkshire result, and we were destined for a draw when it started, because most of the first day was washed out. The second day they played a little bit. There was rain on the third day. Today was pretty much all washed out.
Not surprised, mate. Weather's been shocking.
Yeah, I mean, in South Wales as well, it's been absolutely shocking.
So they weren't playing over here?
They weren't playing over here, no.
All right.
They were playing against Glamorgan. And a replay, we played Glamorgan at the start of the season. Billy Root, Joe Root's brother, plays for Glamorgan, so it was the Root brothers fighting out. Joe Root's not really had a great season. I say that in this match that they've just drawn, he was bowled at 99. So that's the best he's I think maybe he's scored one other century. Most of the time he's been out in the teens. It's just not been fantastic. I think that's a lot of that is just him settling back into county cricket. I think a lot of it will be the COVID stuff. A lot of it will be playing teams that he didn't expect to be playing and not really knowing anything about them. Because the way that they've got the current setup is that there are 3 divisions. So previously you had Division 1, Division 2.
I thought you had the Championship as well.
No, that is the County Championship. County Championship, Division 1, Division 2. You have the top teams in Division 1, the crap teams in Division 2.
Yeah.
They've rejigged that, so they've now got 3 location-based divisions because of COVID.
Right, okay.
So in Yorkshire's division, there's Yorkshire, Lancashire, Glamorgan, Northants, Sussex and Kent, which is not massively location-based. But
they're not. No, Kent's nowhere near Yorkshire.
Yeah, and it is, and it isn't, in the sense of how you can easily match certain games together, but still have a generic county sort of level system.
Okay.
So in our system, I don't know if this is completely up to date. As things stand, latest reading of these tables, we are top of our section. And the way this works is that the best 2 teams go into a final at Lords, regardless of division.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
At the minute, that looks like it's going to be Gloucestershire as one of the teams, and then probably Lancashire or Yorkshire. We still have to play Lancashire. We still have to play Lancashire as well, so as long as we win that match, I think we're safe. We didn't do well last season, but I mean...
I don't think we've done it well last few seasons, have we?
Yeah, I know. I mean, still the greatest of all time, but the last few seasons have been shocking. Yorkshire.
Are they?
Yeah, 31 and 1. 31 titles, 1 shared. The best county team in history.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 2016. I think it was when we lost the title. It was such a close title. I remember watching the Middlesex match, hoping they got annihilated. But then since then, we've not really shown up. A lot of that was because for 2 years, half our squad was in the England squad. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
you know, we've not exactly been.
Firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, we've not had a full squad, which is not a massive excuse because, other teams are going to lose players as well. But it does feel like they took the backbone of our team. You got at some point, most of our lineup that have played in this recent match have played for England. Adam Lives played for England. Gary Balance has played for England. Joe Root, Don Best, David Willey, Ben Code. They've all played, at some point for England. So, you've got players like Bairstow. You can't you can't take those players out of a squad and expect us to do the greatest.
Yeah, exactly. When you've got all your big hitters out.
Yeah, and then you look at the squad for Glamorgan that have just played against us, and Marnus Labuschagne has played for Australia.
Yeah. He plays for Glamorgan.
Yeah.
Wow. Owen Morgan, was he playing?
No, he'd have been isolating, won't he? So all the IPL players are isolating at the minute.
Oh, right,
the ones that are playing in in New Zealand's tour are really struggling. They've got it's like a 10-day isolation period, and I think they come back 2 weeks before the start of the first match. So really, you're talking then back up to speed with training and stuff. They're probably going to miss the first game.
Oh.
Tennis. Let's very quickly jump to tennis. Not much to say other than the French Open's coming up, and Andy Murray will not be there. He decided not to try and get a wild card, and instead focus on the Wimbledon and grass season. There was umming and ahhing about whether he'd get a wild card. He had been offered a wild card for this week's Geneva Open, but has turned that down. I think because there was such a lack of unknowing, even though the French Open organiser said he definitely deserved a wild card, I don't think they'd officially offered him one. It's probably best for him just to figure out how to play at his best with a British crowd behind him, now that that's going to happen. I don't know what the setup is for Wimbledon and allowing fans in, but Queen's runs a couple of weeks before Wimbledon, so he'll be playing at Queen's in front of a bit of a crowd next month, which is quite nice for him. But I think this could well be like last season, maybe 18 months, maybe for him.
Do you reckon?
I can't see him going on much longer.
Not with his injuries.
Well, I mean, even if he could get through with all the injuries and stuff, and he does. Let's say he never has another injury.
Yeah. I
just can't see that happening. Like, it must be so frustrating playing at that sort of level. Maybe he's got the passion and determination from it, but from where I'm standing, it looks like this could be it for him. And I think he just wants to go out on his terms rather than going out on an injury.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough. But I think that wraps up our general news for May. No, it doesn't. I want to jump to one last thing in football. Jump back to football.
Oh, go on then.
There's some gossip going around, and it's quite surprising gossip. I didn't expect this. The gossip is that Real Madrid's manager Zinedine Zidane has told his team he's leaving at the end of the season.
Oh, again, second time I believe.
Yeah. Club. So he'll be back in a year, but
next season they'll struggle. Then he'll be back season after.
Apart from the performances and the fact that they're not winning the league as things stand, I don't know why he's leaving. That I'm not been following Real Madrid though for the last couple of years, so maybe something has happened. But the rumours are that Real Madrid know about this and they've already lined up Ancelotti and Massimiliano Allegri, so that's Everton's manager and Juventus's manager, as being like the two that they want to fight it out for that position.
Ooh.
That's.
Who would you rather have?
I mean,
Allegri or Ancelotti?
Ancelotti has done wonders so far at Everton. He's doing really well, and just is a pretty good manager in general. So I would not be against that. If I was in Allegri's boots, I'd be getting out of Juventus as fast as I can.
Oh yeah.
So, both of them would be a fantastic signing. Allegri's probably the more likely of the two. He's probably more likely to leave. I think Everton definitely want to keep hold of Ancelotti as well.
Yeah.
Jumping to Barcelona, apparently Man City have been told that they can sign Lionel Messi if they can match his wages. His wages at the minute are apparently £500,000 a week after tax. So if they can match that, he's going to Man City. Now, with everything that's going on, COVID-wise and sport-wise, I don't know whether Man City would be up for doing that.
Well, Aguero's going to Barca, isn't he?
But, yeah, if they can match that, I don't know what Aguero's wage is, but surely...
It's not £500,000.
It's not, but surely it's not that much further away than actually signing like someone at 170 grand a week, which at the current Premier League rates is, an average midfielder. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Surely that's doable. It'll be very close. Obviously, a lot of teams at the minute are wanting to cut back and are having real financial issues. Maybe it's doable. It'd be nice to see Messi in the league just to see what he can do. As we were talking about Lewandowski, like, it would be nice to see him in the Premier League and see what he can do. Ronaldo has shown at the start of his career that he can do wonders in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really the complete player there, so it'd be interesting to see what Messi can do at the end of his career. People will naturally jump to conclusions between the two, which I don't think you can do. They're playing in massively different periods of the game. But yeah, it'd be nice to see.
Be nice to see if Ronaldo came back to United as well. Both of them two played off at Manchester Derby.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Right, well, we are ending on that. Ollie, thanks so much for doing this.
No worries.
Thank you all for listening. This has been the general news roundup for May. We'll probably do another one in June. Hope you all enjoyed this podcast. Make sure to check us out on social media on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at IO Sportscast. If you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell and the like button, just to make sure that, one, you can help us out, and two, that you get the next episode in your notification feed so you can listen as soon as it goes out. And if you're on one of our podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcast, hit the little follow bell. I think it's a bell. Follow icon, so you see when the new episodes come out as well. Ollie, thanks again, and thank you all for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.